Times of India, 22nd of February 2024, Giridhar Aramane, the Defense Secretary, on China, forces are resisting a bully. China is our adversary because it has invaded territory on territories that do not belong to it as part of its hegemonic efforts. Defense Minister Giridhar Aramane referred to Beijing as a bully on Wednesday after China again rejected India's efforts to defuse the two ongoing troop standoffs in eastern Ladakh at Depsang and Demchok during the most recent military negotiations. Indian forces were standing firm all along the frontier against China. Aramane also thanked Washington for very quickly providing intelligence and situational awareness which U.S. equipment and the U.S. government could help us with following the military conflict with China that broke out in eastern Ladakh in May 2020. Aramane spoke at the second Indus-X Defense Summit with U.S. Indo-Pacific Command Chief Admiral John C. Aquilino here. "We found it to be beneficial," he stated. According to recent assessments, the People's Liberation Army, PLA, is still forward deploying between 50,000 and 60,000 soldiers equipped with heavy weapons in the 3,488 kilometers long line of actual controls western, Ladakh, central, Uttarakhand, Himachal, and eastern, Sikkim, Arunachal, sectors, sources told TOI. Similar mirror military deployments are also made by India, as evidenced by Aramane's comments. China rejects India's request to remove its troops. In the military talks being held after a gap of over 4 months, China did not agree to India's demand for troop disengagement at Depsang Plains and the charting Ninglang Nala, CNN, track junction at Demchok as a precondition to de-escalation, a government source said. Complete disengagement in the remaining areas along the Ladakh-Arunachal Pradesh border is an essential basis for the restoration of peace and tranquility in the border areas, according to a brief statement from the MIA. However, during the talks led by the chief of the South Xinjiang Military District and 14 Corps Commander Lieutenant General Rashim Bali, the two nations agreed, as they had in previous rounds, to maintain peace and tranquility on the ground in the interim and to maintain communication on the way ahead through the relevant military and diplomatic mechanisms. Aramane stated at the Defense Summit that India and the US were cooperating at several levels in the Indo-Pacific, given the context of China's hostile and expansionist behavior throughout the area, including the South and East China Seas and the land boundaries with India. "We are living through a critical juncture in the Indo-Pacific region's history." According to him, the Indo-Pacific area is at the intersection of global trade, geopolitics, and security because of its enormous oceanic expanse and strategically essential waterways. He continued, India and the US find themselves as key stakeholders in navigating the complex dynamics of this region, bound by shared values and common interests. Aramane noted that India was increasingly looking to the US for cutting-edge defense technology and equipment, underscoring the mutual strategic convergence. The US, in turn, sees India as a key partner in its Indo-Pacific strategy, leveraging India's growing defense capabilities, he stated.